And I'm MisfitMidas. I am your caster for the day, and this is the ESL Europe Go for Rainbow Six Siege Cup for the week. And the two teams we have facing off today are WeSports and League EbSq. We'll just call them League for short. The map is going to be Border. And we're going to start off on the bans. Again, if you're not super familiar with competitive play here, the defensive team gets the first and the fourth ban, since they technically have the advantage starting out on defense here. And the first ban coming out is Jackal. That's going to deny a lot of the roam clear ability from the attacking team of League here in this first half, and allow WeS to roam a little bit more freely on Border, which does require a pretty strong roam here, especially if you want to hold the site and deny the push from the attackers, both downstairs that are playing up top to kind of like help that hold there on half wall on Border, or also to deny the attackers from just getting complete control of upstairs once you start having to play downstairs. The next ban coming out will be Montaigne, and that will help get rid of some of those more stricter strategic pushes there on both of the balconies into sites upstairs, etc. Then Valkyrie coming out. That's a huge information on our ban here for WeS, and then the defending team of League when they have to switch over at the half. With those three black eye cams really going to deny a lot of that information that you have from those three free cameras. Then the last ban is Bandit, and that's just going to stop a lot of the wall denial. Of course, you'll still have Mute and Kaid, but a little bit tougher to trick there with Kaid and deny with Mute compared to the Bandit. So with that, we're going to get underway. If you're not super familiar with competitive play, again, it's 12 rounds with a 3-round overtime. It's 6-round halves. So this first half is going to be 6 rounds where we will see WeS Esports start out on defense for all 6 rounds, and then League will be on attack for 6 rounds. At the end of those 6 rounds, they'll switch, and then they'll play the next 6 rounds. The first team to get to 7 and win by 2 will win the matchup. You are allowed a 6-pick right now, so there is a 6-pick phase right here that you see right now, and you get 1 per team. So you're going to see Ness actually use it here for League, and that's going to be from Gridlock to Sledge, kind of get a little bit more soft breach ability there for their team. Anyway, we're going to get started here in round number 1 on Armory Lockers Archives. Arguably the most offensive site here on the map, and basically the most common one that you see played. And they are going to bring out the mirror, so we're going to see Smirks with that mirror, which is actually kind of interesting considering that a lot of European teams tend to ban the mirror out just because of the innate ability, and then you just get so used to seeing other people ban it, you just continue to ban it because nobody's really sure how to play it. But having been left open in order to take out the Bandit and the Valkyrie, Smirks will be able to utilize that mirror there in small office we see right now to hold what is typically looking out and into Armory. Kind of interested to see why they actually reinforced both walls while still trying to play that mirror there. So that mirror will only be good for once they actually breach open the wall and enter sight. And then the one there in Fountain. So looking at the roam presence here from the team, it's only Ares underneath as Pulse, and that's going to be trying to deny some of that C4. They're utilizing the C4 to deny the CCTV break room push, which is going to be so strong here for League. Oh, and a lot of friendly fire come out by Redox there onto Morvars. And that's going to put him at a quarter health just to start off the round. And you know that's got to be frustrating here for the League team. Trying to make noise on that wall, not rush. Sure what's happening here. But the drones are going to come out in any case, and that is going to still be, again, that 4-man roam upstairs. Classic trying to utilize just a bit of that cardiac sensor to gain some information for his team. It does have a range of over 20 meters here. The Doka be coming out with the first call. Trying to peek onto the balcony, but Smirks actually getting shot pretty long there, all the way from CC it looked like. And that is going to be actually Nez doing the one peeking all the way down to East Stairs. From CC, getting just a little bit of help taking off Smirks, but Smirks knowing she has to rotate back up, coming up middle stairs. Start rotating all the way up and hopefully trying to get a flank on Sledge, but actually choosing to opt against that here. Schultz still holding the angle from the balcony. Both these teams are going to have to figure out exactly how they want this round to play out, and League needs to get a foothold somewhere where that's going to be a take from CC or what looks to be a take from Office, but they're going to have to get into Office to actually make that take happen. And Ares is actually going to get a kill from East Stairs, trying to fight it out with the Sledge, who has definitely the advantage, but Classic almost getting a second kill there, dropped to half health though after taking out Sorry, but Habana opening up another long angle there from break room on to Archives, and Armory now covered by the opening. Redox and Nez switching back over though to the Armory side, push from that balcony, and Joker and Ronin and Smirk's actually gonna have to try and fend off here. But Morvar's still holding strong while the remainder of League is stuck now in CC after realizing the Archives push won't quite work. But Schultz, oddly enough, with the diffuser, is sitting strong there on the opposite side of the map. He's going to have to rotate back if he wants any chance of his team to do anything decent here. Joker trying to hold off this push now with just 30 seconds left, and the Execute's going to have to come out here very, very shortly with just 30 seconds left. They're going to have to make a decision on it where they want to play. They know the mirror's there, but Schultz is actually able to frag him out. And then on a long angle from Trick there, just a little bit farther back from the mirror. Schultz is trying to get this peek on, but Nez gets a double kill, and now it's a 1v3 situation. And Trick is going to go down there as League takes the first round on a final kill by Schultz onto Trick. Extremely interesting round there as far as you see kind of the rotates that League made there against WeS. So if you watch closely, the first half of the map was actually just them trying to figure out and probe kind of the defense, see like where that they're denying it and where they're not, and then realizing that they can't push through Archives initially. They're gonna have to rotate over, take Armory, and then they kind of just hesitate till they found that seam, and then they took extreme advantage of that seam and just dove right in. Worked out really well. Extremely impressed there by League's push. Honestly, kind of interesting for me was the way WeS decided to hold that map, or that site, when they had the Pulse underneath there to deny CC and break. But then the Pulse left. He did get a kill, granted, but then he left from underneath, which is where he could have denied a lot of the plate, where the sledge of Nez was just giving so much trouble to the team there. And just kind of an interesting decision to leave when you literally have the denial that could have saved your team from having to deal with a lot of the BS that happened during the entire round. So we'll see if they change it up here a little bit. As we're coming to round number 2, we are staying back upstairs here on Armory Lockers Archives. We talk about it a lot, but something that does separate more the competitive professional teams versus the ones that aren't very competitive or professional is the ability to provide multiple looks at the same site. So that you play a site once, whether you win it or you just get catastrophically destroyed, realizing that, okay, the enemy, the attacking team knows exactly what we're about to do here. We've got to change something up. We've got to edit the strat so much they just don't read us into it like a book, you know, and follow the same thing. And I'm interested to see here if WeSports can figure that out and decide to hold it differently, or if they're just going to do the exact same strat. And it looks like, at least for now, they're doing the exact same things previous, with the exception of Smirks roaming a little bit more freely here as a Vigil over in CC. So the attack pretty much coming out the exact same way. Again, it's true for the attacking team as well. Here, as League is trying to figure out how to take the objective, they have to be able to provide multiple looks here and different approaches when you take the site every single way. Just what marks good teams versus bad teams, really. Smirks getting the long angle opened up into offices there. And the information is going to start coming out here for this first minute and a half, as quite typical. But it looks like, at least with the variance of that Vigil, they're playing the exact same strategy. So super curious to see if it'll work. They've already given control from East Balcony, at least, on Redox into offices, so the rotates will be shut off there. But the drones are coming out, still trying to get some roam clear. But we are now almost a minute and a half into the round, and not a single attacker has entered the building. So they're going to have to figure out something here, as Ness is actually now in servers, and Simics, who wasn't, or sorry, not servers, excuse me, CC, and Simics, who wasn't CC, is now just completely dropped out. The pre-fire is going to come out. He's going to see the peak, but actually, oh, please tell me you see that. Oh, what is happening right now? Simics just not connecting his shots. Crispy, thankfully, is going to be able to get an early kill on here. But Smirk's going to drop right off after what could have been a pretty easy double kill there into CC break. Let me back up East stairs, trying to rotate around. The attacking team has just a minute left here, as EbSq has to figure out what they can do to get into the site. They're probing the defense yet again, but they're not quite connecting. Aries actually getting, Classic getting another kill onto Schultz there. They do still have to also contend with these stairs. No, he's there. Smirks is just sitting on his stairs. Morvar knows he's pinging out for his team. They're trying to watch the rotate. Sorry is back onto metal, but now very quickly into a 3v5 situation. This is a very different round than last round. Smirks finally getting that kill here. Nez trying to get across, and that's onto Morvar, who was watching the rotate. But then Nez is also going to go down there from Joker with the SMG-11 from Armory. And it's now a 1v5 situation. Actually, polar opposite, but it doesn't matter after we have a flawless round from WeSports. As Joker closes it off. I apologize for being sick. I got sick this week, lost my voice, so that's kind of the lack of voice change there and excitement, because I'd probably squeak. It's not like a 10-year-old girl. But we are coming into the third round, breaking 1v1 after a completely different round there from WeS. Absolutely turned it around, went from being demolished on the push to having a flawless round. And I think all in part because they had the roamers in the right places. They were able to kind of play off information a little bit better there and then continue changing it up. So while I criticized Smirks a little bit upstairs on kind of the way he was rotating and like missing some of the kills, he ended up coming back around, keeping them on their toes, rotating, getting a couple kills there, and paying off. So now we are going to go downstairs to Ventilation Room Workshop, most of the time considered to be the second primary site on this map. The first being the Armory Archives hold. And so now moving downstairs again, we talked about kind of in the pregame here, the amount of information that is denied there on the roam by the Jackal Band. But you're going to see the top floor hold is going to be extremely important here. Teams almost playing it the exact same way you played the top floor, with a heavy top and a low, kind of just a minimal presence on the bottom to prevent kind of a quick plant rush, but then the floor being opened up pretty heavily up top to kind of watch the pushes down into sight on top. So that's why you are seeing Classic break out the mirror here in small office on Armory. And then trying to get the entire wall reinforced there, again, just like you were playing upstairs. Pretty staple information up here, though, with Trick. Be able to put out some of those Evil Eye cameras, so now again, some of those quick plants, and then Joker going to be playing underneath with the smoke denial for the plant. Nez actually going to break out the gridlock. Interestingly enough, they are switching off most of their like soft breach potential from the sludge, and then not bringing a buck either, especially when it's on the top floor. Super curious to see how this take is gonna go. They do have some breach charges on their team, and the Nez shorty shotgun, but with the track stingers, I'm going to be super curious to see if they try to go for kind of a little bit more calculated rush plant. And it kind of ties some of that information ability here. Smirks roaming upstairs, so kind of look at the splits. Classic and Smirks playing pretty spread actually upstairs. And then underneath, Crispy and Gel, and then Trick and Joker playing off on site. Smirks getting prepped here for this run out. You know he is. He's just waiting to be able to run out east onto the balcony, but the attack team getting the ground, so they're going to go ahead and spot Crispy, but Crispy is going to go immediately down there on the reverse repel from Nez on a great angle there. So that is going to be the opening kill there on the deep roamer on the bottom floor. Redox trying to fire over into Armory, not quite able to get it. And actually, the Ash is going to have to go pick up the diffuser all the way from spawn. Not quite sure why they left it. But this push is still coming out upstairs. The rotate's kind of being cut off and held, and that's going to leave Classic, who's actually already fallen down underneath, and Smirks. So oddly enough, a minute and a half in the round, they've already given up the entire top floor control. The black guys are gone. And now they're just going to have to worry about trying to clear out underneath. But Nez not really wanting to use the shotgun upstairs. So they have very little opening potential here upstairs, like we just talked about being so important. They've got to get somebody up there to start opening the floor from the top in order to make this push. And with both hatches being open, they are looking fairly good, even though that's fairly standard for defensive play. But they fell off them just a little bit too early. A minute left. Morvar's going to get a second kill onto Joker, though, and that's down into Archives on the rotate. And it's now very quickly a 3v5 situation. A couple long angles being held here. Morvar's still playing up top. Nez getting great for the plant. Smirk's actually going to be able to get finally a kill onto Redox there, and that's going to be off on that hatch. Smirk's a second kill, though, on a double, so now bringing it back 3v3. The plant trying to get prepped here, but Morvar's is trying to hold from the top, and that's only Nez on the bottom, but the fuser's actually down and nowhere near the window, which is right. You're looking at the default plant right here. Not quite able to happen. Again, from the hatches, Morvar's trying to trade there with Classic, but nothing connecting as we now go into 15 seconds left in the round, and the push is going to have to come out soon. So 10 seconds left here. The ESQ will start coming out very, very quickly here as you start to see the push break through, and that's going to be in through the window. That's going to be an opening kill there by the Habana, though, and Smirks has a triple kill now, and thankfully to the great defensive hold there by Trick and Smirks, WeS is going to take round number 3. Kind of an interesting round there from League EbSq, as they did all the right things. They cleared out the rumors up top. They took advantage of it. They didn't really use the soft brief to the potential that they should have. And then they just kind of stalled. They stalled. They didn't put the diffuser in the right place. So I think they were literally prepped and set if they'd open up the spots they need to open up top, and then just got the diffuser to the default window. And then all that had to happen was you just had to see Nez, throw out the tracks and then go for the default plant being covered from above. But just kind of some fumble play there with the diffuser really cost them that round. We are going to go down to customs now, which is a second downstairs site, really the tertiary site for most teams, as there is on this map only one site upstairs and 3 downstairs. A little bit less required of an upstairs hold, but honestly kind of an interesting round there, considering that we watched the entire team just absolutely really like not hold upstairs well at all. They just unable to hold it. Like 2 minutes into the round, you've already seen them drop off and then completely just really basically honestly just collapse and then fall underneath. They're still able to take it just because, again, the plant ability wasn't there from League. See if we can fix it just a little bit here, but they just, again, some fumble play to the diffuser. Nobody's really sure who picks it up. Not sure why there's that like confusion coming into the round on who is supposed to be the planner and who's not. But in any case, we'll kind of look at the defensive spread here. That's going to be Crispy, Joker, and Trick all on the first floor. And then upstairs, you have Classic and Smirks. And that's going to be a pretty average standard mirror setup here from Classic, utilizing the castle to kind of hold Classic off in CC and then be able to look down long onto E. It's going to be super important. Crispy waiting very aggressively for the runouts, and they're just kind of really baiting this attacking team of League to come into position where they can just get run out and opened up on here. The drone work coming out, trying to identify the angles they can start to approach from, but very quickly Redox has already opened up the gel wall, and that's going to be a little bit of a denial prevent, and that's going to be Joker sitting right there in gel, trying to hold the quick close angle against the team that's going to push. And he's just going to show us back almost, really. Honestly, as Morvar's actually going to be able to get the first kill here. Opening on to Crispy. Smirks back onto Morvar's, Nez onto Joker, so that is going to be gel cleared out now. And kind of looking at the spread, that is the majority of the team there on the double, and so Smirks is going to go back down to help Tricks, who's really off site, so that's only one on site here, as Redox keeps baiting, going in and out, getting evil-eyed, but knows that Redox has got to push in here and take tellers very, very quickly. A minute left in the round. They're actually looking pretty good here on this take, assuming they don't fumble play a diffuser again. Twitch actually going to whip there. Smirks just whips on Schultz, and it's a double kill on the round for Smirks, having an absolutely massive game thus far. The plant's coming out in default and supply room right on the window. The diffuse is actually going to be tried to stop here, but not quite able to be stopped here, as the Cam is going to down him, and Aries is actually able to get a kill off before Nez can kill Classic. Another kill coming out by Smirks, and that's triple kill, and Tricked closes it out again onto Redox, and a great retake on the site as WeSports able to close out the round yet again for their team on the backs of Smirks and Trick. Just, it looks every single round like this attacking team knows what's happening here, as League EbSq is just setting up in the first minute and a half and then just absolutely bombing the closeout on the execution. They just can't execute well. They have the site. They know where everyone's at. They have the information. They have the plant, but they just don't clear the utility and clear the angles like they know they should. And again, not being super familiar with competitive play, it's on a 3-round site rotation. So that means after 3 rounds, if you win the round the first time on that site, you're allowed to go back up to it. So we're going to go back up to Armory Lockers and Archives here. So we pretty much reset the rotation coming into round number 5. Schultz, not really much of a change there. 6 picking from the Dokkaebi to the Nomad. Pretty standard shift here considering all and some of the run out ability, but really not seeing too much of it here. Very little variance. We talked about the importance of like professional teams versus some of the more amateur teams having different looks on the sites and be able to display kind of a change in strategy in between the rounds, but not really seeing that here. So we're seeing a back-to-back, the same strategy used over and over on the sites, whether it's the same take or the same utility being placed the same places on defense, and kind of interested to see if that's actually going to come back and bite WeSports in the butt here as League starts to kind of maybe figure out the way they play, their play style, where they put the utility, how to clear them out, because we're just seeing the same look over and over again. It might work in ranked where there's only one chance to play a site the first bit, but not going to happen. And again, just seeing it, pick up the diffuser, drop the diffuser. Not sure why the diffuser is being picked up by the person that's not starting it. Kind of a pet peeve, but if you don't have the person that's planning it, knowing who's going to plan it, then you're kind of in trouble here. Actually, oddly enough, 4 of the 5, again, upstairs again. Smirks being the only one down, and Redox knows that. Redox actually going straight up these stairs, and hopefully they can actually cut it off, but the camera's going to come out, and he's not going to take the camera out as he knows it's there, but it is going to come out, and right up east he's going to go as Smirks is hot on the tail of Redox. The C4 not going to connect, kind of almost a C4 prepped, but wasted slightly there, as Redox is now trying to prep and fight it out with the Pulse, who's going to take actually enough damage to down him. Not really sure if Redox knows that he downs Smirks, but I think I have an inkling because he's getting fairly aggressive here, and being the only hard reach on the team, really surprised to see him playing that entry frag role. Schultz trying to prep over into office, but we are going to see Smirks actually get picked up here, and Redox playing right outside, trying to bring the drone up, but just allowing both of them to get picked up, and that's got to be frustrating here for League. The drone, in fact, is going to come out, and he's just going to be killed after the cardiac sensor comes out, as Smirks on to Redox for the opening kill of the round after kind of a odd little whiff there. That Pulse is going to get taken out there by Sari, almost taking out Joker as well, but not quite able to connect on the shots. The angle being watched very carefully onto Crispy. If he peeks that window, he's got to be a dead man here, but nothing connecting just yet. We're just a minute into the round. EbSq is going to have to start the execute if they want. Here they have such a problem with waiting till the last second to clear utility and push the execute. They're just playing too carefully here, trying to slow down this defensive hold, but right against the wall here. Very carefully is Joker, that SMG-11, just absolutely baiting the push, but now with all 3 of those toxic babes still left in his pocket, he's able to deny basically any entry from Armory, and Crispy actually going to be able to take out 2 Schultz and more bars there, long on to the hallway. And that's now Sari and Nest that's going to have to start the execute here. Nest kind of holding the long angle down into Armory, with Sari being the one that's going to have to push in Archives. This defensive team getting so aggressive here from WeSports, but just almost too aggressive, but it does pay off there as Trick and Classic close out the round respectively there, coming into a 4v1 lead here on the 6th and last round of the half. Again, if you're not super familiar with competitive play, what is basically going to happen here is, again, they're going to play this last round here on defense. They're going to switch sides, EbSq going to defense, and WeSports moving on to attack. We are going to go back downstairs to Ventilation Room Workshop here, and just curious to see if this EbSq attack can figure out how to take the objective without just whiffing the execution here. They're just moving too slow throughout the entire round to the point that they can't figure out how to clear the roamers in a time-effective manner and then execute onto the site together. They consistently want to like 2v2 or like 1v3 kind of different sides of the objective and just not execute and take one site the correct way. And it's ended up costing them really with this disciplined defense here from WeSports. Really on the back here of Smirks, though, who's 8-2 thus far, playing extremely strong, and honestly been one of the clutch factors there with Trick on multiple occasions. Trick will find a lot of extremely useful information for his team on those Evil Eye cameras, and the rest of the ability to garner some information that will really help make choices for the team. Wouldn't be surprised if he was the IGL. So round number 6 is underway here. They're going to have to take this upstairs and clear it fairly quickly if they want to start opening up. And glad to see they did bring the sledge back. You can see Morvars is on it, so they can start getting some of that soft breach ability. Upstairs now, finally, prior to executing. Looking at the defensive spread here. Again, it's only Trick and Crispy playing underneath. Classic Smokes and Joker all above. Trying to hold this and just delay the push that's going to end up inevitably coming out to take top floor. So the drone's almost immediately coming out here. Schultz trying to find Smirks in office, is able to do that. Going to make the ping and the call out, and the push is going to have to start coming out here. He's going to try to get the peek off on Smirks, but not quite able to close it out there. As both take about 25 damage. All the angles are held correctly right now and just kind of baiting some movement, but Smirks is actually going to take out Schultz, though, despite getting down to Joker on to Nez. And this is not looking good already for League EbSq. Morvard's almost crushing Classic here, as Joker's on 1 health as well. This still is very doable here, but Crispy's actually going to get a brilliant run out here, and that's going to be the Diffuser stuck on the top balcony, left alone and afraid. Sorry, it's going to be able to take out Joker, though, on a sliver of health, but after kind of some missed shots there, that's going to be Smirks onto Morvars closing it out, and it's now just up to Sorry in a 1v4 situation. C4s are going to start coming out and trying to identify them. Not really able to connect anything, and Sorry's now stuck, and the only thing that's stopping his team from going into a 5v1 at the half, and he's going to get a 2nd kill on the round, looking for a 3rd on the window peak. Is gonna get it, and that's a triple kill for Sorry. It's now a 1v2 situation after it honestly just looks like WeSports is just letting him have this round, throwing. But they do have the 2 clutch masters here, Smirks and Trick, left alive to close the round and the matchup out. Sorry, heading on the balcony. Kind of just some very base angles being held here, just waiting on the execute to come out. But with 30 seconds, Sorry's going to have to hurry up. He only has 30 seconds to get the diffuser. He's going to have to breach charge and then get downstairs. Basically clear 2 roamers that are both playing decently, actually off site. And with 10 seconds, it's just he's moving too slow, and it's going to be a 5v1 here unless a miracle happens. And unable to make anything happen there. WeSports close out round number 6 to go into the half, 5v1. And again, we are at the half, so that means they are going to switch sides. So WeSports is going to go on to attack, and League going to go on to defense here. So we're going to see it switched up. And we're going to go back upstairs to Army Lockers and Archives for their first site hold of the half. Again, the most commonly defended site here on this matchup and the map. We are going to see the 6-bit come out, though, and unlike their counterparts of League, they're going to see a double hard breach come out, and they're going to play more consistently on those walls, it look like, especially bringing the Thermite and the Habana to this round setup. They does actually coming out with the drone denial, and so they do have mute from Sorry and the Mozzie, so kind of a more common, actually, strategy in Pro League as of recent is the Mozzie mute strategy, just really denying all the information here from the attacking team, and then Nez choosing to take out both drones that were mute jammed instead of capturing them, but it is what it is. Kind of an interesting move there for him. But there is no mirrors, there are no maestros, and there are no echoes. Kind of a interesting take on the site, pending the fact that that all three are left unbanned. So we'll see how they manage to hold it against this fairly indomitable team of WeSports. But in any case, the attack will commence here onto Armory Lockers. The only denial of the walls will be the mute jammer, but they have the utility to be able to tank that out in just a little bit there with the ash charges, nades, and Twitch drones. Kind of a double play almost here, as Nez playing right above Schultz with the Ella. Going to be kind of interesting, but Joker and Trick are going to be in charge of clearing out servers, it looks like thus far. Crispy going to immediately be able to take out Redox, though, on a long shot with SMG-11 across from the ventilation window. Trying to find another one, unable to get it, and Joker able to take out Nez, and very, very quickly it's a 5v3 situation, but unable to connect really. From break door is Trick on to Rook and Offs, played by Moore. Moore now having rotated off it. The three are going to have to hold a very, very tight here against this very aggressive attack. Joker playing with a brand new sight. The rotate's going to come off from Ella, but actually not able to connect here as Crispy takes out Moore, and Schultz whips on over to Joker. And just like that, though, was able to close out the round after Smirks and Classic get the last 2 kills. And we are now on to match point. So heading on over to match point for WeSports League, EbSq is going to have to make a decision where they stick with the same site that they were just closed out very rapidly on, or are they going to go downstairs? They are, in fact, going to stick with Armory Lockers Archives here for what could potentially be the final round of this matchup. Looks like very little change is going to come out here from either team, despite the fact that Schultz is going to hop onto that Caviar unless there's a 6-pit going down. And Smirks is going to bring out the Lion instead of the Habana, opting to go not with the double hard breach and go more for the frag ability, with both Dokkaebi and Lion trying to really flesh out those rumbers and just get aggressive on the push into sight. This round should be interesting nonetheless with the push that's about to happen here. So again, we are still seeing the Mozzie mute kind of double drone denial here. Be more interested to see if they actually use information to their advantage and kind of take advantage of their ability to play off some of those anchors, ability to get on cams, provide some information to the roamers, close down on them, double team on them, get the refrags where necessary, and then just stop the aggressive push there from CC Break. After being droned out, Nez almost immediately just left CC and Break, allowing him to have it completely, and they just pounced off of that as their kind of anchor point there into the site. Again, this is a go-for bracket tournament here for ESL, so the winner of this matchup will move on to the next round of the tournament. And they will continue on for the chance to win a fairly large amount of Rainbow Six Siege credits to split among the entire team, pending the completion of the tournament tomorrow. Strong start here if we kind of look at the defensive breakdown. Schultz and Moorbar is going to be playing underneath. And only 3 left upstairs, so really only 1 on site. And that's going to be Redox in the Legion, but Smirk's actually almost immediately taking out Nez underneath. Really, really sad there. And now it's leaving only 1 up top. Crispy's going to take out Classic, though, so putting it back to a 4v4, a little bit more fair for the team. Sorry, holding fairly tight, but they're just already opening the wall, waiting to go. They're going to try and get the wall breached open, and that, in fact, are going to have that open. They're going to go for the very quick push here, throwing the flashes out. He's going for the quick plant here, and Crispy's going to have to cover him unless they know the plant's going to go down. Just running right through the smoke, and he's going to sit there and bait the push. The plant's going to go down, and they have no idea what's happening here. The rotate's going to come out here. They're going to have to make the counter push. The counter push is going to come out. Both are going to whiff, but Crispy's actually going to walk away with it, but ended up downing the Legion after Joker shot him. Joker able to get another kill here, and it's now a 1v, really 2 situation here. And unless EbSq wants to win this, it's all over as WeS Esports able to close out the matchup on border 7-1 against League EbSq. And again, this is an ESL Go 4 tournament, so if you would like to watch any more of the matchups, all you have to do is filter Twitch by ESL Go 4 R6S, and I'm sure there'll be more of the matchups today casted. I am your caster, MisfitMidas. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, guys, and I will see you next time.